The morning after the great Christmas reconciliation, the compound in Egisha village looked different. The sun rose gently, the goats walked slower, as if they too had heard the crying and decided to behave. And even the stubborn mango tree that never gave fruit suddenly dropped 3 ripe ones like it was, apologizing for past wickedness. Grandpa Pogade, now answering to the new nickname the children gave him. Grandpa J woke up without his cane. He left it leaning against the wall like a retired soldier who finally surrendered. When he stepped outside, Tiara, Tunde and Tenny were already waiting with a small wooden stool and a cup of tea that was properly sweet this time. Tiara bowed dramatically, but with love this time. "Good morning, Grandpa J. Your throne awaits." He sat down slowly, eyes wet again. "You children have finished me with kindness," he muttered. Tunde grinned. "We prefer finishing you with love, sir." That same week, something unthinkable happened. Grandpa J asked Tenny to teach him how to use the phone. Little Tenny, all 11 years and full of confidence, brought out her tablet and opened TikTok. "First lesson, you must smile like this." She showed him the famous Gen Z duck face. Grandpa J tried. His face twisted like someone biting lime mixed with pepper. The children fell on the floor laughing. He laughed to a deep, rusty laugh that had been locked away for decades. By evening, the first video was ready. Title: Grandpa J vs. Modern Life. Episode 1. In the video, Tiara teaching him how to say slay, and No Cap Tunde making him wear sunglasses backwards. Tenny adding the caption, "When your grandpa used to be a military commander, but now he's our baby." The video got 300,000 views in one night. Village youths started calling him OGJ. Old women in the market begged him to greet them with "What's good, fam?" Grandpa J would shake his head and mutter, "These children have scattered my village reputation," but you could see pride dancing in his eyes. Christmas Day arrived like a wedding. The compound was decorated with palm fronds and fairy lights. The children forced the electrician to install tables stretched from the gate to the mango tree. Jollof rice, pepper soup, fried goat meat, pounded yam, and even very importantly, eggs. Plenty eggs were everywhere. At 6 p.m., Grandpa J stood up. No shouting, no cane, no thunder voice. He cleared his throat gently, and the whole village went quiet. "My people," he began, voice soft like evening breeze. "I used to think love was weakness and discipline was strength. I was wrong. Love is the only strength that never breaks the people carrying it. These children came here like small lions ready to fight me. Instead, they defeated me with kindness, and I have never been happier to lose a battle." He turned to Tiara, Tunde and Tenny. "You did not come to suffer discipline. You came to heal an old man's heart. Thank you." Then he did the most shocking thing anybody in Egisha had ever seen. Grandpa J started dancing, not just small side-to-side movement. "My small lions, the compound is too quiet without your noise. Come home, I have bought eggs, plenty eggs. And the Wi-Fi password is now Love No Beak, Crime 225. Then he would add, laughing like a small boy, "No vex. I still wake up for 30, but now I wake up to pray for you people, not to chase you with cane." And somewhere in Egisha, the goats still walk like landlords, but these days they walk carefully, because they know the old man who used to scare everybody now dances past them every morning humming Burna Boy. Love and discipline finally sat down at the same table, ate jollof together, and decided to raise the next generation as partners, not enemies. The end that is actually a beautiful beginning. Thank you for laughing and crying with the Triple T and Grandpa J. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to remember that even the hardest hearts can learn new steps when love leads the dance. See you in the next village, the next family, the next heart that needs healing. Nah, love, we go day use, settle matter from now on. No vex. Egisha village had changed, but only in the best ways. The same red dust road now had streetlights, solar ones. Oh, because Grandpa J said we cannot be dancing in darkness like witches. The old compound had been rebuilt into a proper family estate, 2-story house, painted cream and green, with a giant mango tree still standing in the middle like the elder that refused to retire. Above the front door, a wooden sign now hung permanently, "House of Love and Small Discipline, Enter with Joy." Grandpa J was now 88. But you would swear the man drank ageless potion. His walking stick was now purely for swag. He called it Fashion Cane, and he only used it when he wanted to pose for TikTok. His account, at Grandpa Gifiga Shah, had 4.7 million followers. His most famous series was Old School vs. New School, where he tried everything the grandchildren taught him, eating indomie with straw, learning the Gibbies dance at 85, reacting to Burna Boy's new album with full Yoruba commentary, doing the Calm Down Challenge with Tenny, who was now 21 and a full University of Lagos law student. Tiara became the Tiara everyone knew she was born to be. At 27, she was a proper Lagos big girl, fashion designer, influencer, and co-founder of Tiara and Tenny Collection, high-end Ankara mixed with streetwear. She still entered the village every December wearing sunglasses bigger than plates, but the moment she passed the gate she would scream, "Grandpa G.E." and run into his arms like she was still 17. Tunde now, Dr. Tun Samuel finished medicine in the UK, came back home, and opened a free clinic right inside Agisha village. Every Saturday he wore a lab coat on top of native and treated everybody for free. He still played games, though he had a gaming room in the new house with 3 TVs and neon lights. His patients called him Dr. Gamer. Grandpa J bragged everywhere, "My grandson can cure malaria and still win FIFA same day." Who born your own? Tenny, the former baby of the house, grew tallest. At 21 she was already a barrister in training, arguing cases in court with the same sweet voice she once used to beg for cartoons. She still had the gift. She could make anybody agree with her, even judges. She and Tiara now had a joint YouTube channel with 2 million subscribers, 2 sisters, 1 village, 0 chill. But the biggest change of all, Grandpa J became the softest man in the whole Southwest. 2029, the great-grandchildren era began. Tiara got married first to Chike, a quiet Igbo boy who was scared of Grandpa J for 1 full year. On the traditional wedding day, Grandpa J wore asawok and dark shades, walked up to the microphone and said, "My in-law, if you ever make my daughter cry, I will not use cane again. Oh, I will use TikTok to finish you." The whole crowd screamed laughing. Chike almost fainted. 1 year later, Tiara gave birth to twin girls, Amara and Adego. Grandpa J carried them the day they were born and started crying like a small baby. He named their WhatsApp group Grandpa J and the Princesses. Every morning he sent voice notes. "Amara, Ada, good morning. Today is Saturday. Wear pink and slay for your papa." Tunde married Ngozi, a pharmacist from Ondo. Their first son arrived in 2032 and they named him J. Samuel after Grandpa. Of course, little J's first word was not mama or dada. It was slay. The whole family nearly entered the ground with laughter. Tenny swore she would never marry early. "I'm enjoying my wig and my freedom." But in 2034, she brought home David, a soft-spoken pilot from Calabar. Grandpa J looked at him for 5 seconds and announced, "This one has gentle eyes. I approve." Wedding loading. December 2035, the big Christmas reunion. The compound was now too small for the family, so they rented the village primary school field and turned it into Christmas carnival. 3 live bands, 2 bouncy castles, 1 mechanical bull. Grandpa J insisted Jollof rice mountain that could feed 3 local governments. A giant screen showing old videos of Grandpa J versus Gen Z from 10 years ago. At exactly 7 p.m., the MC Tenny, of course, climbed the stage wearing a red power suit. Village people, city people, TikTok people, Instagram people. Make some noise for the man who went from military commander to national treasure. Grandpa J. The cheer nearly removed the roof. Grandpa J walked out slowly, wearing a Christmas sweater that said Certified Soft Grandpa. His fashion cane had tiny Christmas lights wrapped around it. Behind him walked all his children, in-laws, and great-grandchildren, holding hands in one long line. He took the mic. His voice was softer now, but the whole field went quiet, the way it used to when he shouted. 10 years ago, he began. 3 small lions entered this compound and declared war on me. They won. They took my cane, my shouting, my bitterness, and they replaced everything with love. I thought I was teaching them discipline. They taught me how to live again. He turned to Tiara, Tunde, and Tenny. "You promised me you would come back every year. You kept your promise. Now I am keeping mine." He waved his hand. Some men rolled out a brand new gleaming signboard covered with red cloth. Grandpa J pulled the cloth himself. Underneath was written in bold letters, "Grandpa J Children's Village, a place where love and discipline walk together." Below it, smaller writing, "Built by Tiara, Dr. Tund, Bar, Tenny, and Family, 2035. because every child deserves a second chance at childhood. The whole field went mad with shouting and clapping. Grandpa Jay continued, eyes shining. This village will take care of orphans, give them food, school fees, love, and small discipline, not too much so they won't run away like my son Sammy. Sammy shouted from the crowd, Daddy, I have come back. Nah. Laughter exploded again. Then Grandpa Jay did what nobody expected. He dropped the mic, literally, walked straight to the mechanical bull, climbed on top at 88 years old, and rode it for 12 seconds while shouting no vex. The video got 28 million views in 1 week. He became Africa's most legendary grandfather overnight. Later that night, when the fireworks finished and the children were asleep under mosquito nets in the field, the adults gathered around the old mango tree. Grandpa Jay sat in the middle, great-grandchildren sleeping on his lap and chest. Tierra rested her head on his shoulder. Grandpa Jay, are you happy? He looked up at the stars for a long time. My children, he said finally, voice soft like evening breeze. I spent half my life trying to make people fear me. You spent one Christmas teaching me how to be loved. I am not just happy, I am complete. Tenny started crying. Tunde pretended he wasn't crying, but his eyes were red. Tiara just held his hand tight. Somewhere in the distance, a goat bleated like he was saying amen, and that was how the story of the strictest grandfather in a Geisha village became the story of the softest, most beloved one in the whole world. Every December after that, no matter where you were in Nigeria, if you passed a Geisha, you would see fairy lights, hear Afrobeats mixed with highlife, and find one old man in the middle of children teaching them how to dance, kiss Daniel Koff with perfect legwork. And if you asked him, Sir, are you not tired? He would laugh, flash his gold tooth, yes, he fixed one for swag, and reply, Tired K, love never retires. E-Day give energy like 10 bowls of pounded yam, and the circle kept growing. From one angry old man and 3 stubborn grandchildren, to a whole village of love that now carries his name, because sometimes the hardest hearts don't need beating. They just need 3 small lions brave enough to roar with love instead of claws. The end that will never truly end. The sky was doing that thing it does only in the dry season. Purple, gold, and orange fighting for space like children sharing one bowl of ice cream. The whole village had gathered again, but this time it was bigger than Christmas. It was Grandpa Jay's 98th birthday, and the 20th anniversary of the day the Triple T first declared war on him. The field now had a permanent roof. They called it Jay Arena. Inside, 5,000 people, 3 giant screens, 1 drone flying above with a camera, and a banner so big you could read it from the next village. 98 years of legend from cane to dance, Grandpa Jay, the man who refused to stay hard. The MC this year was Amara Tierra's first twin, now 16 and already taller than her mother. She wore a gold gown and spoke with Tierra's drama and Tenny's sharp tongue combined. Igisha, Nigeria, world. Make some noise for the only man who went from no phone in my house to who go help me read this comment. My eye day pain me. The one and only, Grandpa Jay. The roar shook the ground. Grandpa Jay rolled out on a golden golf cart, decorated with balloons and fairy lights. He was wearing a white Igbada with tiny embroidered TikTok logos. Tenny designed it. On his head, a red cap with the words, Certified Soft Grandpa, Level 98, Unlocked. Little Jay, now 13, and the official DJ dropped the beat, a remix of the By Burna Boy mixed with high. Grandpa Jay stood up slowly, raised one hand, and the whole arena went quiet. He didn't shout. He never shouts anymore. My people, he began, voice soft but carrying like magic. 20 years ago, 3 children entered my compound with phones, attitude, and small English. I thought they came to destroy my peace. They actually came to give me a new life. He looked at the front row where Tiara, now 37, Tunde 35, and Tenny 31, sat with their spouses and children. Tiara, the drama queen who taught me that crying is not weakness. Tont, the gamer who showed me that rest is not laziness. Tenny, the negotiator who proved that love can win any argument. You people finished me, and I have never been more alive. Then he did something nobody expected again. He walked to the edge of the stage, sat down, and dangled his legs like a small boy. I have announcement. The whole place held their breath. I am retiring from being the eldest elder. Gasps everywhere. Yes, oh, I have carried that title for too long. From today, the new head of Grandpa J Children's Village will be, he pointed to the front row, little J Samuel, the 13-year-old DJ. Little J's mouth fell open. His father, Dr. Tund, started shouting, "Ah, Daddy." The boy never even reached WAEC. Grandpa J laughed. "That is how I was looking when my own father handed me responsibility at 15. The boy is ready. He knows love, he knows discipline, and most importantly, he knows how to press play without pressing anybody's destiny." The crowd went wild. Then Grandpa J stood up again. Second announcement. He beckoned and 6 small children ages 4 to 8 ran onto the stage wearing tiny versions of his famous red cap. "These are the newest members of the village. They lost their parents last year. Today, they are no longer orphans. Today, they are my children. Everybody say welcome. Because every Christmas, the story starts again. See you in Igisha next December. Bring your dancing shoes. And plenty eggs." The sky was doing that thing it does only in the dry season. Purple, gold, and orange fighting for space like children sharing one bowl of ice cream. The whole village had gathered again, but this time it was bigger than Christmas. It was Grandpa J's 98th birthday, and the 20th anniversary of the day that Triple T first declared war on him. Inside, 5,000 people, 3 giant screens, 1 drone flying above with a camera, and a banner so big you could read it from the next village, and from Cane to Dance, Grandpa J, the man who refused to stay hard. The MC this year was Amara, Tiara's first twin, now 16 and already taller than her mother. She wore a gold gown and spoke with Tiara's drama and Tenny's sharp tongue combined. "Make some noise for the only man who went from no phone in my house to who go help me read this comment." Grandpa J rolled out on a golden golf cart decorated with balloons and fairy lights. He was wearing a white Egbada with tiny embroidered TikTok logos. Tenny designed it. On his head, a red cap with the words "Certified Soft Grandpa, Level 98, Unlocked." Little J, now 13, and the official DJ dropped the beat, a remix of the By Burna Boy mixed with High Life. Grandpa J stood up slowly, raised one hand, and the whole arena went quiet. "My people," he began, voice soft but carrying like magic. 20 years ago, 3 children entered my compound with phones, attitude, and small English. They actually came to give me a new life. He looked at the front row where Tiara, now 37, Tunde 35, and Tenny 31, sat with their spouses and children. Tiara, the drama queen who taught me that crying is not weakness. Tund, the gamer who showed me that rest is not laziness. Tenny, the negotiator who proved that love can win any argument. "You people finished me, and I have never been more alive." Then he did something nobody expected again. He walked to the edge of the stage, sat down, and dangled his legs like a small boy. "From today, the new head of Grandpa J Children's Village will be little J Samuel, the 13-year-old DJ." "Daddy," the boy never even reached WAEC. "That is how I was looking when my own father handed me responsibility at 15. He knows love, he knows discipline, and most importantly, he knows how to press play without pressing anybody's destiny." He beckoned and 6 small children, ages 4 to 8, ran onto the stage wearing tiny versions of his famous red cap. "These are the newest members of the village. They lost their parents last year. Today, they are no longer orphans. Today, they are my children. Everybody say welcome." The entire arena screamed welcome, so loud the drone almost fell from the sky. Grandpa J raised his fashion cane, now wrapped in Christmas lights all year round, and declared, "From today, nobody in Igisha will ever be called fatherless again. If your papa no day, come meet Grandpa J. We go adopt you with love, feed you with jollof, and disturb you with small discipline so you no go spoil." The cheering lasted 5 full minutes. Later that night, when the fireworks finished and most people had gone home, the original family gathered under the old mango tree, now decorated with solar fairy lights that never went off. Grandpa J sat in the middle, surrounded by 4 generations. Tiara was recording everything on her phone, of course. Tenny was arguing with little J about who would be the next CEO of the children's village when he grows up. Tunde was busy feeding his youngest daughter pounded yam with his hand like a proper village daddy. Grandpa J looked around slowly, eyes shining. He spoke in a whisper only the family could hear. "I used to think when you get old, life becomes small. You people made my life bigger than Nigeria. I am leaving with everything because all of you are my everything. Tiara stopped recording and started crying. Little Jay, the new heir, asked quietly, "Grandpa, when you reach heaven, wherein you go tell God?" Grandpa Jay smiled the biggest smile any of them had ever seen. "And I go beg him to keep one small corner for me, with Wi-Fi, oh, because my great-grandchildren go do video call." Grandpa Jay woke up on the morning of December 24th, sat on his favorite chair under the mango tree, and quietly slept away. Burna Boy postponed his Dubai show and came to Ajishia to perform at the funeral for free. The casket was carried by Tiara Tunde, Tenny, and Little Jay, now officially the youngest village head in Nigeria. On top of the casket sat the very first fashion cane, wrapped in fairy lights that were still blinking. At the graveside, Tenny, now the family spokesperson, spoke. He just changed his address to heaven and upgraded his TikTok to Cloud9. He asked us to tell the world one last thing. She raised the old, cracked walking stick that started everything 20 years ago. The song that boomed across the village was the same one from the very first Christmas dance. And as the beat dropped, every single person, old women, small children, even the goats, started dancing. Because that was Grandpa Jay's final instruction. Make sure that Jollof finish, the eggs plenty, and the love no day end. And somewhere above the clouds, an old man with a golden tooth and a red cap was definitely doing the gibbies with the angels and winning. And every December, when the fairy lights come on in Egyptia, when children laugh under the mango tree, when somebody somewhere teaches a stubborn elder how to love again,